Hello, my name is Vlad and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing an overview and new tour of my city, which I haven't done in a little while, and I've made some changes. I'm going to start with the surface and then I'm going to move on to my underground railway, do some comments on that as well. Plus I also have a new section that I've been working on, and especially one segment that I want to show you what I've done and some of my future plans. So why don't we get started right now. I'm going to move from left to right. So first up is my forest and my campgrounds. So this is basically in the edge. I have a lake, and then I have a cabin in the woods right here. That's from the cabin set. I've put it on Mills plates, I modified it. Plus I added a lot more trees in the same style as in what you get with the cabin. And there's also a camper here, one of the older camper kits, camping in the campground. And I also have a stream. This stream runs through the whole wood section. It also runs into a little pond here where there's a little deck that has two little mini figures, and then there's a waterfall in the back where there's a mountain right there. So that runs all the way across through the forest. This took a lot of work. It's a lot of trees. And I also did my gravel roads by using 1x1 round plates, and they turned out really nice. I did a light bluish gray and dark bluish gray outline. And you also see that I have my covers. These are my covers for my underground railway, and they basically go all the way around this perimeter. And they kind of form like a cliff edge. So it's kind of like the underground railway was carved into a cliff, side cliff. And then right after that, I've got a tunnel. I've planned to put a backdrop in there, so it looks like the tunnel keeps going instead of just a off-white wall. And I also have a mountain cliff edge that runs all along the back with some pine trees. And then I also have the apartment kit. There's actually 3 kits here. It's modified into a full building, full modular building. They have a playground with the kids playing right here, and there's some playing soccer. It's from the playground set and some of my own. And then I also have the toy shop, and that again is made from 2 and then doubled up and made into a modular building. And then the more trees, and then the tree house right here. That's again kit, but the whole grounds, I put a lot of vegetation in, as you could see. Very detailed vegetation. In here actually is an ambulance taking a biker who hit a tree, I guess, and keeled over, broke his hands maybe, to the hospital. And there's a couple with their baby camping in the camper again, and some minifigures on bicycles carrying some vegetables. So that's kind of my campground area. That hasn't changed in quite a while, but I like it. It's turned out really nice. Now you'll also notice I have roads. My roads are made out of bricks. They're not I don't like the roads that you get because they have the cutouts, which you don't see any road. Plus, I can also make my walkways and my divider lines anything I want. I also devise my own round roads, curved roads, basically 90-degree curve. It kind of gives a good illusion of curvature, I think. And I also have my own parking slots that they're angled, so the cars can actually drive in and out without having to back in and out in teeny increments. And I also have a walkway along the cliff edge, and that goes into an intersection. That goes into my large office building It's kind of the start of a mini downtown. And this is a very tall building, and it uses about 7 sets of the office to create. It has a full interior to create the office interior, plus a lot of extra bricks. So if you can see inside, you can see the interior. Eventually I want to light it up, but that's down the road. Then I have my intersection here, and I created the lights that are more local to what we have here in Edmonton. So I think they turned out really well. And then I have a construction area which I plan to put some new buildings on, custom-made buildings on eventually. And then I come up to a road. Now, as you notice, there's a bump in the road, a little bit of a bump there. It's because the table is slightly angled. It's curved upwards at the end. I'm going to have to take all that down and fix it, but since everything's on Mills plate, it should be good. So that's the surface above the area and the campgrounds and the apartment area, residential, office, and apartment area. So that's the first segment. I'm going to do the railway last. So first we're going to do all the surface. Next up is kind of like the mini business area. There's a 4-way intersection here, and kind of a little park here with a fountain. No, the minifigure kids are mesmerized by the fountain. Then I also have the walkway, kind of like a board walkway with several of the modular buildings, Assembly Square, the bookshop, Italian restaurant, and then if you're wondering about the trees, they're all use hinges, arches, and the 2x2 rounds to make the trees. I think they look fairly good. I like the way they come out. I have also the planters where I have some gardens here, and sidewalk and some rest areas with benches for people to sit on, minifigures to sit on. That comes all the way, and that ends in a skateboard park. And that's kind of like the walkway street. So here's a shot from the park all the way down the boardwalk or walkway, kind of. And then you can there's people enjoying the view from the cliff to the other side, from the edge. So moving along, we have a road and we come to the central street of the business area, which is right here. And that is at City Hall. So this is kind of like the old style downtown in a lot of mini cities. And again, the roads are plated. And I also have a back alley right here, right there with the garbage truck and some trees. That eventually can be a building, but I kind of like having a little bit of extra room there as well. And I have almost every modular building except, of course, the original hotel and the grocer. Those are way too expensive to get. So that is basically my T intersection from a City Hall downwards. Then I come around to the kind of the Chinatown district, and I have the Dragon Gate. The gate is the original concept, and the dragon's from a kit, so I combine those. Then I also have back there, which you can see is the Chinese restaurant. That was basically made out of 2 kits into a modular building, and I added a staircase to the top floor. And I also have the park, the Chinese New Year park as well. That comes down from the street here with a whole bunch of trees. I really like trees. I like to have things green, and that comes around here to here. I can pull this whole thing out and get in there. There'll be a gap created there. I won't do that right now. But then what I have is I have my own design wall kind of dividing the amusement park and my original design of my Brick-Man-Vlad, which I call to indicate my name of my amusement park, kind of a play on my name. And that is built with a whole bunch of different techniques. And that fills into the amusement park. Now, in the amusement park, I have a lot of the rides. I have the mixer, the haunted house, the Ferris wheel, and I also have a eatery or a fast food area. Actually, they're not only fast food, but also veggies and carrots, things that are good for you, that you normally don't find in an amusement park. I also have my grand fountain, which I'm very proud of. As you can see, there's tons of minifigures on the sidewalks, because they're all enjoying the park. I also have the train and the remote sitting there, but that's okay. And the train comes around this loop, basically, as you can see, across the entrance, and then to the Disney station, right over there, where the merry-go-round is. And then I have what I consider took me a while, and one of the first things I built custom is my custom roller coaster. This is built out of like 4 roller coaster kits of the original roller coaster kits. It's big, it has a double track, and it's pretty huge. It takes up like about 4, 5, maybe even more base plates, so it's pretty massive. But I like it, I really love roller coasters. Then I have my mini Ferris wheel, and that sits on top of the tunnel, and it has a walkway right here and an elevator, and that goes across to the other side, and then there's an elevator and a walkway down. So that's how the minifigures get across the railway. And this was a lot of work and some cliff area. And then I come up to the second food area. This one was the second one I built, and I kept one of my original trees, horizontal trees, as opposed to using hinges. I thought that was kind of a cool concept, and I may change this horizontal tree or may leave it, I'm not sure. Then I also have the Disney Castle on a mount. So it has its own water moat, and it also has a waterfall, so that falls into the moat, comes up from the fast-moving river at the top. And then on the top, there's another staircase to the top, an elevator. That brings us to the looped roller coaster, which sits on top there, and that reaches just an inch from the ceiling. So basically that is my amusement park, and there's a second entrance to the amusement park there, which I'll get to in a minute. So that right there is basically my large amusement park. And if there's new rides that come out, well, we'll have to see where we can put them. I'll have to work out something. But it uses a lot of minifigures, as you notice. There's a lot, because the park is usually very busy. So there's a lot of action going on, a lot of stories to be told. Then coming around from the roller coaster, the loop roller coaster, is my hotel. This is what I call my Ponard Hotel, based on my last name. And it has a swimming pool on top right there. And a change room, and the hotel is fully furnished. It has basically double bed, large rooms, like 2 penthouse suites, and several 2 beds in a room, 1 bed in a room, 2 singles to doubles, and they're all fully furnished. And it even has bricks for curtains. And then there's also a gym on the 3rd floor, and the lobby is open style lobby, and then it has a mall next to it, and this mall is fully furnished. It has basically a Lego store, of course. It has to have a Lego store right there, and that was used from the Welcome Lego kit when the Westwood Mall locations opened. It has 2 stories and has some escalators as well built in. You can see one of the escalators through the window right there. And it says mall on the side. And then there's more road along this, which is a second gorge, kind of. Next to the hotel, I have the construction site, or the construction building. It's for the Bricklink program. This probably won't stay here because I'm going to make a custom building here. My plan, my ultimate plan in the long years ahead is to build everything customized. So that is going to be something different, and then there's the monorail in the background, of course, again. And then I have my customized daily bugle, and that's twice as wide, so it fits the whole sign at the top, and about 1/3 the width inside. It took 2 kits to build this. I really like the way it turned out. I also have a floor added where I have the printing room. It's just right in here. You can see the printers, just maybe, but yeah, I have a video on that complete building, how I did it. So it's 2 base plates wide. I think it turned out really well. So that's what's next. Next door to it is the Avengers Tower, and that one goes all the way to the ceiling. It includes the tower that you can buy, and I modified the inside to include the elevator shaft because I hated having the elevator go into the outside where there's nothing. And then I also have a customized base for it. I made a customized base for it based on the Avengers movie version, and I like the way it turned out. It's some customized. It has a large lobby area and a second floor where there's a karaoke, where Stark belts out the karaoke tunes to the rest of the Avengers as they relax and have something to drink. Next I have the Sanctum Sanctorum. It's got Doctor Strange's apartment, and that's the kit as well. And then we enter into the new area. Now here I continued the monorail. I have a monorail curve here that's going to actually sit in a parkade, and also there's going to be a building put on top of it and a parkade, as I mentioned, and that's going to have a train station, a curved train station, so that'll be a challenge. And then there'll be a skyscraper that'll go all the way to the top, so that's something that's coming too. Then the monorail continues, and I have the last year's modular building. And then next to it the pet shop, and I moved actually, although this video in the earlier part of the video I have shown the assembly square in the other area. I think I'm going to move that and put the new modular building that's coming out in January this year there, because it seems to fit there. And then next to it I've got the Sitcom Tower, where I have Thor's penthouse and other sitcom floors, which includes Friends and the Central Perk Cafe. I also have extended the roads and parking stalls, and also made the facades for the cliff area, the canyon or cliff. Now, what's in future plans, what I plan to do is over here, I'm going to build a hill, kind of a hill with an edge on it right here and here. And it's going to go into a tunnel underneath the botanical gardens, and then there's going to be the hill's going to continue up kind of into a semi-mountain, and there's going to be the observatory on top of that. And below that is going to be the fisherman's store. It's going to be overlooking a cliff, and on that cliff there's going to be, just like I had before, but it's going to be a bigger cliff because the observatory is going to be sitting much higher. And then that cliff will down to a beach area, which will be the surf shop, and also the lighthouse will be there too, and the part of the ocean or big lake. Not sure what it'll be yet. And that's basically a tour of my whole city, top of the city. Now what I'm going to do for the underground, instead of going through all the underground, because I've done a lot of documentation on that, I'm going to go from station to station and show you what the stations look like, and then maybe comment a little bit on those. So I'm going to start with the first station I built, which is over here. This was redesigned a couple times, so I'm going to pop underneath. And it's the biggest train station I have, and this was built, I did this maybe 2-3 years ago, and then I rebuilt it about a year ago or so, and it includes a set of washrooms, a food court, and lots of minifigures. and then it curves around here, and it also comes over onto this side and provides a train waiting area with the ticket center and a small souvenir stop called Nadia's, and so on. And what I did is when I updated it, I added an escalator, which you can see right there, just in the corner there. There we go, just on the edge there. I'll bring the camera around here. See there, you can see the escalator there. And I've got a lot of minifigures here sitting around watching this. This is the main central station. What I added is the texture to the columns, and actually the columns weren't originally there. So I think it turned out really nice. And that's the main railway station. That's all I have to say about that. So now we're going to come around to the second station that I ever built, which was under the forest. It's kind of in the campground area. And here it is. And this one features a ticket booth as well, right there. And an elevator as well, and a food area as well, smaller food area. This one's much smaller station, and it was the first one I used columns on. And there's washrooms in the corner as well, right there. So this was the second station I built. Moving on to the third station, that one's underneath the, as we go underneath the amusement park. This one is over here. And this was the first train station I built. That's 2 stories high. And you can see the second story right up there. It's basically a souvenir shop because all amusement parks have to have a souvenir shop, especially when you leave, when you're still very excited about all the rides you went on. And then it has a, in the bottom, it has, the first one that I made faceless teller machines or automated ticket machines beside. And I also have an escalator. I also made some escalators for this one. First time I made escalators for this one right here. So that's this station right here. This was my third station I built, and I really like it. Actually, it's not the third station, that's actually wrong. It's the 5th station I built. And that's underneath here in the amusement park. And actually, if I go up to the amusement park, as I mentioned before, I have the entrance to the train station right here. Moving along past the amusement park, we come to the actually third train station that I built, and that's right here. This one right here, and this one has, again, this one I built with posts and arches. This was my first station I built with arches. And it has a ticket booth, a coffee shop, and actually something that I included in this one was a vending machine area right there. And I also included, in this one I included a corridor to escalators. I didn't actually show the escalators and stairs as well. So this was my third train station I built, and I like the way it turned out too. As you know, as you can see, all these train stations are customized. They're all designed uniquely from my imagination, and I think this one turned out well. Moving along to the Adventures Tower. Below the Adventures Tower is my next train station. This is number 4, and I have a total, if you're just wondering how many train stations I now have, I have a total of 6. And this was built, now this one was based on a particular design of a train station, which was the train station which came with the buses. I bought 2 of them, and I made a underground train station out of this one. So I used the components from that and the style, because I really like the style, and I included a larger ticket area, not just a kiosk, but more of an office, more of a place to go. And it basically, this was my first one that featured a train station with both sides. That means the tracks were on both sides of the train station. So this one's kind of a dual train station with the center area where everything is located. And it's probably my smallest train station, but I really like the way it turned out as well. So as you can see, all my train stations are different styles. And if we leave that train station and then come around here, come into the new section, this section is pretty brand new. And then I did a whole feature on this train station last time, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but this is my old style brick train station. It's kind of based on an old style subway station design. It's got some ticket booths, a coffee shop in the corner there, and lots of figures and benches, kind of wooden bench styles, old wooden benches, but it also has modern, because it has modern escalators. I put some modern escalators in it that go up to the top, and there's also an elevator shaft as well, right there. So, and this one has a curved ceiling. It's hard to see it from this point on here. You can see the curved ceiling, and inside it also has a curved ceiling. So I like the way this really turned out with all the brick and everything. So this is the last train station number 6. And basically every train station, as I mentioned, is unique. And I tried to build it on different themes. So that kind of is a quick tour of my underground train stations, of my vast underground railway. If you're thinking how big it is, it's huge. It takes a lot of tracks up, and I also plan to make a program for it so the trains stop at the train stations, then continue on. So that is the extent of my tour for now. Hope you enjoyed that. I really have a great time working on the city. Some of my future plans are obviously developing this area here. My long term is to add also lights to all the buildings, which is going to be quite a bit of work. And my eventual plans into the far future is to take out all the modular buildings, all the official ones, and put them back on a shelf and display them that way, and make everything original. So, but that's very long term. So that's everything. And if you've enjoyed this video or you enjoyed this tour, please give it a thumbs up and leave me some comments. I really like comments, and I enjoy reading them. And I will see you next time. So until then, have a great day.